In a stunning development that cuts to the heart of America's democratic ideals, Senator Marco Rubio, now Secretary of State under President Trump, has laid bare the reasoning behind the government's case against Palestinian rights advocate Mahmoud Khalil, and it has set off alarm bells across legal and civil liberties communities. Welcome to In the Know News, where we bring you the stories that matter with clarity, depth, and integrity. Today, we dive into a case that's about more than one man. It's about the very principles of free speech, dissent, and what it means to live in a democracy. Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia University graduate and prominent voice in campus protests against Israel's ongoing war on Gaza, is facing deportation not because he broke any law, but because of what he believes. The Trump administration's case, distilled into a 2-page memo authored by Rubio and obtained by the Associated Press, reveals that the rationale for targeting Khalil centers around his support for the Palestinian cause, which officials claim conflicts with core American interests. In blunt terms, the memo asserts that Khalil's continued presence in the United States would undermine U.S. policy to combat anti-Semitism and hinder protections for Jewish students, despite acknowledging that Khalil's actions were entirely lawful. This is where the danger lies, not just for Khalil, but for anyone in America who dares to speak out against prevailing foreign policy or engage in political advocacy that challenges the status quo. The government's argument isn't that Khalil committed a crime, incited violence, or participated in any terrorist activity. In fact, there is no allegation of illegality at all. Instead, the case hinges on his political expression, his vocal support for Palestinian rights, and criticism of Israel's military actions. Khalil was arrested by immigration agents last month at his university-owned residence and has since been held at a detention facility in Louisiana. His wife, a U.S. citizen, is expecting their first child this month. In a heartfelt letter from detention, Khalil wrote that his arrest is a direct consequence of exercising my right to free speech as I advocated for a free Palestine and an end to the genocide in Gaza. Attorneys Mark Vanderhout and Johnny Sinotis, who represent Khalil, issued a joint statement that leaves little ambiguity. Immigration authorities have finally admitted that they have no case whatsoever against him. Their message is reinforced by a federal judge, Jamie Comins, who has given the government until a strict deadline to provide concrete evidence justifying Khalil's detention. In court, the administration's position was further weakened by the Department of Homeland Security's vague claim that DHS did file evidence, without making any of it publicly available or presenting clear proof of wrongdoing. The administration has insinuated that Khalil supports Hamas, a U.S. designated terrorist organization, but has failed to back up those allegations with any documentation. Judge Comins made it clear on Tuesday that unless convincing evidence is submitted, she will terminate the deportation case at Friday's hearing. Legal experts and civil rights advocates argue that this case could set a dangerous precedent. If holding unpopular views or organizing lawful protest is grounds for expulsion, then the rights of all residents, citizen or not, are under threat. What we're witnessing is a moment of profound legal and moral reckoning. Is America still a place where free speech is protected, or is it becoming a country where the government decides who belongs based on their political beliefs? The case of Mahmoud Khalil forces us to confront this uncomfortable question. President Trump's administration, through the pen of Marco Rubio, has presented a chilling argument that dissent itself can be cause for punishment. Stay within the Know News as we continue to monitor this story and others that shape the fight for liberty, justice, and accountability. Because when the truth is under pressure, we press harder.